And the word of Elohim spread, and the number of the taught ones increased greatly in Jerusalem, and a great number of the priests were obedient to the belief. And Stephanos, filled with belief and power, did great signs and wonders among the people. But some of those of the so-called congregation of the freedmen, Cyrenians, Alexandrians, and those from Cilicia and Asia, rose up, disputing with Stephanos, but they were unable to resist the wisdom and the spirit by which he spoke. Then they instigated men to say, "We have heard him speak blasphemous words against Moshe," that's Moses, "and Elohim." And they stirred up the people and the elders and the scribes. So they came upon him, seized him, and brought him to the council. And they set up false witnesses, who said, "This man does not cease to speak blasphemous words against this set-apart place," that's the temple, "and the Torah. For we have heard him saying that this Yeshua of Nazareth shall overthrow this place and change the institutes which Moshe delivered unto us." And all who sat in the council, looking steadily at him, saw his face was like the face of a heavenly messenger. Stephanos, did many great signs and wonders among the people. And this one group, this congregation of the freedmen, disputed with him, disagreed with him, but they couldn't resist his wisdom and spirit. Well, that probably annoyed them, and they wanted to kill him. But they had to do it legally. So they set up false witnesses against him to say that he'd spoken against the temple and against Moses and the Torah, the law of God as given to Moses at Mount Sinai and in the desert. So there has to be something in the Torah which would enable them, give them the excuse they needed to kill Stephen. And there is. Deuteronomy chapter 13, starting at verse 1. "When there arises among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and he shall give you a sign or a wonder, and the sign or the wonder shall come true, of which he has spoken to you, saying, Let us go after other mighty ones," that's gods, other gods, "which you have not known, and serve them. Do not listen to the words of that prophet or that dreamer of dreams. For Yehovah your Elohim is trying you to know whether you love Yehovah your Elohim with all your heart and with all your being. Walk after Yehovah your Elohim and fear him, and guard his commands, and obey his voice, and serve him, and cling to him." And that prophet or that dreamer of dreams is put to death, because he has spoken apostasy against Yehovah your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim, that's Egypt, and ransomed you from the house of bondage, to make you stray from the way in which Yehovah your Elohim commanded you to walk. Thus you shall purge the evil from your midst. That is why they needed testimony that Stephen had spoken against the Torah. Interesting, though, that they were false witnesses, implying that Stephen had not blasphemed against the temple or the Torah, or taught people that they no longer needed to keep the Torah. Interesting that this is after the death and resurrection of Yeshua, Jesus, when the Torah was supposedly done away with. Interesting that, isn't it?